What's up, everybody? It's me, your favorite little boy in the whole wide world, Ren with 2 N's. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that the Destiny DLCs could get any worse than Curse of Osiris, but somehow, Bungie has hit an all-new low. Now, it's no secret that I thoroughly enjoyed Forsaken. It was nice to have the Destiny I once loved back again, even though it was a bit watered down. But after I made my video on Forsaken, I played the game a lot more, and as a result, I've naturally just burned myself out. I did everything I wanted to, and that was that. So at first glance, the annual pass seemed like a pretty decent idea, because Destiny has always had these massive content droughts. Like after the launch of The Taken King, we had basically nothing else to play in the game until Rise of Iron came out. And then after that, we were left with next to nothing to play again for an entire year until Destiny 2 came along. So having little patches of content releasing once every 3 months seemed like the right move. Except I struggle to call the Black Armory content. This DLC essentially only comes with 2 things: the Forge and the Raid. The Forge is essentially just a very watered down version of the Prison of Elders, where you fight 2 waves of enemies and then you fight a boss. It's very, very simplistic. Except this time there's a timer. You have 60 seconds to find a blue enemy, kill it, pick up the ball that it drops, and throw that ball at a metal spire, which will give you 5 seconds of extra time. Do that 20 times and you move on to the next round. But be careful! Sometimes you have to throw the same ball at the spire over and over again, since, for some reason it just doesn't register. Don't worry about that very strict time limit. Just keep trying, and remember to always have fun. Oh, I missed? Oh, what? It's bouncing off of it. Do I throw it towards the bottom of it? Okay. God damn it, that's so stupid. Where do you throw it? It doesn't make any sense! There's really nothing to the Forge mode. You've already seen everything that it has to offer. It's a 5-minute little game type. But it has one massive problem. You cannot play the Forge comfortably unless you're between light level 610 to 620. Now I can hold my own at 605 or whatever I'm at right now, since, I am the god of video games, but the casual Destiny nugget will need to be at level 620 at the bare minimum to be able to comfortably complete the Forge. And there really isn't anything inherently wrong with that, except for the fact that the only way to properly increase your light level is to complete all of your milestones, which means that you're forced to play through all of the game's old content. The Blind Well, the Spider Bounties, the Last Wish Raid, the Strikes. It's just Bungie doing what Bungie does best, recycling their old content. If the whole world was like Bungie, we wouldn't have global warming. So just to be clear, if you want to play the new stuff, you have to replay all of the content that you've already been replaying over the past 3 months. That is not okay. I just spent the last few months slowly grinding my characters up to a higher light level, and now I'm expected to grind those same exact activities over again, just so that I can experience your 10 minutes of new content? No, that's not right, mama! This, fellas, kids, girls, and boys, is not content. This is game padding, disguised as content. I am doing the same thing I did 3 months ago when this came out. There's nothing new going on here, and it's pissing me off. And there's also the Raid, and the Raid is pretty neat. They usually are, but it's a very short raid. It has less encounters than the Crota Raid, but more encounters than the first raid layer, if that puts it into perspective for you. And to be fair, the final boss of the raid is pretty cool. It's a neat playable space too. But that's all there is to this DLC. When you boil it all down, you got 40 minutes of brand new content tops. No new Crucible maps, no new strikes, nothing. Now there are some new bounties to do, but those also require you to replay old content. And yes, there are some new guns to get, and while a lot of them do look really neat, as far as I understand, most of, if not all of them, are just random drops, and are not tied to the new content in any way, at least not at this current point in time. The Black Armory is flat out inexcusable. Right now, you are paying $35 for 40 minutes of content because you are forced to buy the annual pass if you want to play this. And sure, the annual pass does come with 2 other DLCs that aren't out yet, but this whole shebang honestly feels like a full-on scam because Bungie won't allow you to buy Black Armory on its own for $10. You have to buy the entire $35 annual pass. Now this was a tricky little move on Bungie's part, because if I had paid $10 for Black Armory on its own, then there is no way in hell that I would shell out another $20 for the upcoming expansions, because this expansion is pitiful. The Haunted Forest had more to offer than the freaking Forge does, and the Haunted Forest was free. Hell, even Sparrow Racing had a little bit more to offer than the Forge does, and that was also free. And Bungie have managed to fly under the radar with this sickening mess. I haven't seen anybody talking about it. Maybe that's because it's just not worth talking about. Maybe it's because Fallout 76 has been taking up a lot of headlines recently, and also most people have just naturally moved on from Destiny. But me, I'm not gonna let this one slide. I would highly recommend that you stay far, far away from the annual pass, because I think it's pretty safe to assume that the upcoming 2 expansions will have a similar amount of content to this one. Just a bunch of grindy bounties, a half-baked new game type, and a small raid. So for that reason, I don't plan on making any videos about those 2 expansions, unless they've got something really noteworthy in them, but I don't think they're gonna be worth my time, and they most likely won't be worth yours either. Bungie finally did something right for once with Forsaken, just to piss it all away with the annual pass. Typical Destiny, right? Taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. But that's all I have to say about the annual pass, and I gotta be honest, it's kinda refreshing to be able to make a shorter, albeit looser video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.